I'm on the road today to beautiful Lone Rock, Wisconsin, to meet with the owners of Tortilleria Zepeda. Julian and Heidi create authentic Mexican-style tortillas utilizing local corn. I am so excited to meet up with them and walk through this process.
My name is Heidi Zepeda, and I am co-owner of Tortilleria Zepeda. Our tortillas are made with the process called nixtamalization. We get the dry corn from the farmers, we cook it in an alkaline solution. It soaks generally overnight. The next day we take that corn, we rinse it, and then we grind it. We don't add any special ingredients, there's no additives. The only ingredient in our tortillas is corn. You know, in college I had the opportunity to go study and live in Mexico, fell in love with the culture and the food, and then I meet this wonderful man named Julian Zepeda. I'm incredibly proud of my husband, Julian. When we moved here in 2016, he had never left Mexico before. His English level was pretty rudimentary, very beginner. Culturally, it was such a big change. He'd driven a car 3 times, and it was all these learning curves. You gotta learn to drive, you gotta speak, decent English, you gotta adjust to this culture, and just with some of the immigration barriers, he went through a lot just to be here. And that passion and that drive to come to our country just speaks so much to this business because Julian embodies the American dream to the extreme. He brings me to tears. Part of our philosophy to make us an authentic tortilleria is to really use the corn from the land of where we're located. So one of our concerns when we started a tortilleria in Lone Rock, Wisconsin is how are we going to have an authentic Mexican corn tortilla without importing corn from Mexico? Well, luckily we're in this driftless area where there's many corn farmers, abundant, 7 miles up the road, 30 miles up the road. And so using corn from where the land is, where we're located, I think we're really doing a great job of paying tribute to these indigenous cultures of what they did and practicing that tradition so we can really have an authentic Mexican corn tortilla here in Lone Rock without having to import corn. Yeah, so we're headed right now to Lodi, Wisconsin to go visit the wonderful people of Heartland Craft Grains. There are a couple, Rochelle and Evan, who grow different types of grains and corns, heirloom corns, on a lot smaller scale. Some of their mission is really the regenerative farming, really passionate about agriculture, and so they grow a blue variety of corn, which we use to make blue tortillas.
Evan Schnaad, co-owner and farmer, Heartland Craft Grains. We have corn, 2 different varieties of corn planted here. Out in the distance, we have einkorn, which is the first wheat that was made from wild grasses. So that's like 10,000-year-old genetics. The next slot over there is spelt, that's 5,000-year-old genetics. We've got modern rye, we've got modern wheat. So we kind of span the gamut of modern, old, different corn varieties, trying to find, again, just what's the right answer? What's the most flavorful and nutritious that our customers are gonna love? Tortilleria Zepeda was going a few years before us, and we knew about them, and yeah, it just kind of converged where we were growing some of these unique varieties, and it kind of goes back to the point of not many people are growing these, so by us as farmers willing to not just go the common path, like branch out and grow these unique varieties that require a little bit different management, and you've got to create your own market and form those relationships.
Hey, Evan.
Hey, Heidi, how's it going?
Good.
So there's not that elevator that's just taken our blue corn to drop off any time, so you've got to have that end user if you're going to go this route to really make it worthwhile, and then to have that feedback, it's kind of a upward spiral of, here, this is cool, we can grow that, do you like it, yes, no, and then keep fueling on that dynamic. We can do our thing and enable them to do their thing even better and grow more authentic varieties for what they're trying to do.
Being able to work with local farmers is something that's really near and dear to us. For us to be able to give back and purchase from our neighbors in the local farms to keep them going is one of my favorite things about this business.
Julian, thank you so much for having us in here today. Will you walk me through the steps to making these amazing tortillas?
Well, this corn has been already nixtamalized. It's been soaked 24 hours. So that means it's already absorbed everything that it's supposed to. You have all the calcium and the different chemical reaction happening. And you can see how even the size of the kernel is almost double than it used to be.
You get that, of a good tortilla, you get that really earthy balance to it. There's almost no inherent sweetness. I mean, the sugars are gone. What happens next? Walk me through the magic.
Yeah, when the corn is ready and then we know then the skin is peeling and everything looks okay, so we can grind it. So before that, we're gonna rinse it, but really little. We don't want to remove everything we gain with the nixtamalization. Just rinse it. Remove some of the excess of the water. And now we're gonna bring it here to the grinder. This is a traditional Mexican grinder special for masa. Yeah, there's two volcanic stones, and one of the stones rotates, and then it's gonna start pulverizing the corn, and then from the ends of the stone, you're gonna see the masa flying away.
Sure. So this is still, even though this is slightly more automated, this is still a very, very tactile process. You have to touch it, you have to be involved with it, you have to sharpen it. Okay, wow.
Yeah, I think it's kind of what Mexican cuisine is. It's a lot of, there's no recipes. It's all how feel, and then you taste it and add a little salt and a little peppers, but you don't have a perfect recipe. It's so hard to get a recipe from your grandma, for example. They never will tell you exactly how to do it.
Exactly.
Okay, now that we have the corn here and everything is ready, we have the grinder set up. Just gonna add a little water.
Okay.
And I'm gonna turn it on, it's gonna be loud.
Okay.
We want to make a bowl to hold all the heat. The other thing with masa is a little delicate, so we can't let it in atmosphere for too long because it's gonna start getting dry. When it's fresh, we just bring it to the tortilla machine and we start working right away. So this is the tortilla machine. This is a feeder. We make this work as a feeder, so we just dump the masa and then you'll see what happens next.
I can't wait.
Okay, now I want to create a coating here, a layer of masa. When this is ready, I can start using the cutter to get the tortilla.
Tortillas come down the conveyor. They do almost a full revolution on this top griddle or comal, and then they get kind of pushed off the side to a second layer, where it flips and it gets the other side to set all of those starches and proteins, and the entire process becomes much, much clearer.
What this does is to simulate a handmade tortilla, which you would have flipped 3 times.
Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Wow, I can't believe how much the smell and the sensory of the tortilla has changed since we went through the corn and grinding it. And to this, it's beautiful. That is so good. That is so good. How many tortillas do you usually produce in a day?
Wow, a lot. Yeah, over 5,000, I think.
Over 5,000?
Sometimes, yeah.
The thing that surprises me is that tortillas are often thought of as this small kind of bread-like component, but not much thought goes into how they get from the corn to right here. And this is one of those processes that takes care, time, attention, and love.
Yeah.
It's kind of intentionally inefficient. You have to have people who care about it so much that they're willing to work through the entire process and the mechanisms therein to make something that's so impactful that when it goes on the table, people notice it, and then it becomes part of the process. It's actually gorgeous.
Yeah. We take really serious tortillas in Mexico. It's practically the most important calorie intake, and we eat like with each meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, we always eat in tortillas, so we need to have good quality tortilla.
I love it. And you're bringing it to Wisconsin, and that is like my favorite part, man.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Of course, brother.
Mi casa es tu casa.
Gracias, amigo. También.